not using a device, the legal and ethical use concern should be relatively low. As the Plickers technology is simply used to identify interventions, data should never be displayed to anyone other than the teacher itself. My strong recommendation, however, is to communicate the technology to families before using it, so they are all informed and understanding of the technology. Beyond that, I'm also recommending educating students on becoming digital citizens regardless of the technology that they're using. In order to access Plickers, all you need to do is create an account online and download the app. You must do both, as you will need to access the website to control classes and create classwork, and the app is used to gather data. Signing up is real easy. You can link it directly to your Google account or sign up with your separate email address. During use, you will obviously need Wi-Fi access and a smartphone with the downloaded app, which can be found in any app store. Okay, what I'm going to do now is walk you through the simple and easy way to set up your classes and design questions to display in your class. So what you need to do is first log into Plickers. Like I mentioned, you can either continue with Google or create your own password using your own individual email address. For me, I already have a Google account, so I'll go through Google like so. Once you're logged in, you'll be brought immediately to your library, as displayed right here. And you can see that I've already created my own set of 3 questions for a volleyball unit. In order to create your own questions, all you have to do is simply click New Set. Once New Set opens, you can create one question or multiple questions simply by adding New Question up here at the top. So if I were to add a question right here, I can answer that here and answer the questions below. So for the answers, I could put in St. Paul, Minneapolis, and create a bunch of others. The green light, or the green highlighted A, indicates that that's the correct answer. I can move it down and select any one that I choose. I could also shuffle the choices just to make sure that the students aren't answering A all of the time. And again, if I wanted to add another question, I could do that here by hitting the plus sign and then typing in my next question. And then again, putting my answers down below. And shuffling them. Please keep in mind that if you wanted to add an image, you could do that up here by clicking that and accessing either your Google Drive or your desktop. Before you move forward or do anything else, make sure that you name it something. So you don't get confused. After this, simply go back to the home screen. And you'll immediately see your new questions that I created right here and the number of questions that you created. The next important step is to create your own classes. As you can see here, I have a high school PE class up top and then a bunch of middle school underneath. In order to do that, simply click New Class, and this box shows up. You can add up to 6, as you can see here. And if I were to do that right now, I can add MSPE Hour 1. I can continue down the line if I have any more that I wanted to add, and can do that at any time. Once I've created my class, it's important to add students. It's really easy to do. All you have to do is enter a last name and a first. And then click Next. As here as simply a tutorial, I've only added one. But within my own class, I've created up to 11 down here below for my second hour PE class. There are 3 sections on this main page here in your classes. Up top are the sets or question decks that you've already created. Down below is past reports that you've done. And then, of course, like I mentioned, your students. In order for the question deck to be associated with your hour, you have to add it to the queue. So if I have a volleyball unit for my second hour PE class, I will click Add, and that queues it up so that I can use it through my app on my smartphone. Now we're ready to play. I have the deck ready to go on my computer, and I have it set up behind the scenes on my phone that you can see in your handout. Once I click the question deck on my phone, it'll prepare for my class to see the question up on the board. Once I scan, I can scan across, get data, and then simply move on to the next question until all 3 are answered. I could then exit out of my phone and close down and reset. Again, you can see all of the results on the handout that will further break down screenshots of Plickers on the computer and on the smartphone or tablet. Another great feature on the Plickers website is the score sheet that can be found right here. When you click on it, you can access data from all of your classes and all the questions that were part of your Plickers lesson. So if I were to click on hour 2, I can see the names of my students. There was nothing done this week, but overall in the last month, you can see their answers right here. Okay, this way you can revisit past questions to modify your lessons in the future as well. Another way to access data is to go back to your home page, go to Reports, and then click on the question deck with all the answers, and you can see everything in an entire breakdown of the percentage. So 9% of my students on this question got it correct, 45 and 36, and so on. Do that for all of your classes. Go back to your library and set new questions for future lessons. So do that with all your classes and have fun adding a new tool to your ever-growing arsenal of resources. Finally, I'd like to point out some technology terminology and how Plickers coincides with the ISTE standards. I believe that Plickers falls under the empowered learner, and as it is stated by the ISTE standards, students leverage technology to take an active role in choosing, achieving, and demonstrating competency in their learning goals informed by the learning sciences. And also in regards to SAMR and how that matches up with Plickers is down here at the bottom. Substitution, Plickers can be used as a replacement to a traditional written exit ticket. Augmentation, as teachers can notice immediately if a student has not answered a question. Ensuring that there is full participation with every class. Modification, by gaining immediate feedback for each answer. And finally, redefinition, that every student is part of the assessment versus calling on individual students. The real-time questioning and feedback redefines the learning process. Thank you very much for participating in my workshop, and hope to see you soon.